I'm Reisigo, and I'm attempting to complete every single GameCube game, but I'm randomizing what game I'm playing next. In this episode, we're bringing big stars from the courts to the streets and are playing NBA Street. So let's see how our experience with NBA Street went in 2024. NBA Street was released on February 5th, 2002 and was developed by NewFX and EA Canada, and then it was published by EA Sports Big. NBA Street is a basketball arcade video game designed to combine the talent and big names of the NBA with the attitude and atmosphere of street ball. In NBA Street, we're going to go through the city circuit mode to roll credits and consider this one complete for the GameCube challenge. Two things to point out right when we start the game. First, the game makes us create a profile so that we can keep track of all of our records, stuff like our wins and our losses, win percentage, how many points we've scored total, how many trick points we've made, and even keeps track of how many dunks, blocks, and steals we've performed while playing. The last two on the list is busted rims, which is when we break the rim while playing the game, and game breakers, which I'll go into a little bit later in this video. Second, I started playing this game on easy difficulty, then moved to normal, and then went back to easy. I wish there would have been a difficulty setting right in between easy and normal, because easy was a breeze, and normal was right above my skill level. I did get a few wins while playing on normal, but they were much more challenging to get. Now let's move into City Circuit and I'll explain how this works. First, we have to pick the team we want to use for the whole thing. Since I didn't really know what to expect when I started, I went with the Los Angeles Lakers, knowing that at this time they were an extremely good team. Once we pick our team, it shows us the giant gauntlet tower, and it's broken into different regions and street challenges. Think of the tower in Mortal Kombat games where you start at the bottom and then work your way to the top. In this case, each region has multiple teams and they're broken up into where the team would be located in the United States. The first region, and the easiest region, includes 3 teams: the Washington Wizards, Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Boston Celtics. We'll have to face each team and beat them before we can move up the tower and face our first street challenge. But I'll talk about the street challenges a bit later on. I think it's time to talk about gameplay for NBA Street. First, this isn't traditional basketball, so we only get to pick 3 players for each game. So it might be wise to pick the best players or ones that will work best against a potential matchup that you're going to face. In this first game against the Washington Wizards, I picked Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, and Derek Fisher as my starting 3. Since this is an arcade game, while it's loading, the game will give you the chance to change these 4 basketballs that are on the screen and potentially unlock something. Normally it's stuff like big head mode or small characters, just fun little add-ons. I really miss when games would add in these little random things like this. They don't matter at all, but they were just fun. Now that we finally enter the game, we get an introduction of all the players for each team, and then we get to have a jump ball to start the game off. In the standard format for NBA Street, we're going to play to 21 points, and we have to win by at least 2. Pretty normal street rules. As for the gameplay, our characters have a stamina bar, which affects their sprinting ability, and when they bust out moves while dribbling the ball. We can pass and shoot when we're on offense, and sometimes our teammates will go in for an alley-oop. If we're paying attention to them and time it right, then it will be successful, but if we don't, then the ball might go past them or they might miss the dunk. On the defensive side of the ball, we can steal, block. It's all normal basketball stuff. Shooting inside the arc is worth 1 point, and anywhere behind the 3-point line is only 2 points. Even though this is street ball, we still have a shot clock so that neither team can just dribble forever, getting all the trick points and filling up their game breaker meter. Speaking of, I think it's about time I talk about it. When we fill up our game breaker meter, we can activate it, and once we do, the screen gets all distorted. If we're on offense, we can basically shoot from wherever and make the basket. When on defense, it's beyond frustrating to deal with this because you can't do anything to them. If you try to dunk, you'll get some really cool animations for it, and if it's the final point of the game, we can even break the rim down. The feature around Game Breaker that I really like is that when we shoot a basket with Game Breaker or dunk the ball, we add points to our score and subtract them from the other team. So if I shoot a 3-point shot and make it, I get my obvious 2 points, but the other team loses 2 points as well. This can really change the tide of a game quickly. If we dunk, we get 1 point and the other team loses 1 point. So I always just shot from behind the line if the game was close. I think that covers the gameplay for this game. We just have to win to move on, and that's about it. We're able to take down the Wizards without any issue and win the game 21-11, closing it out with a massive dunk from Kobe Bryant. Once the game is over, we get sent to a stat screen called The Count, and this breaks down how we earn trick points throughout the game. Things like fake outs, dunks, blocks, and game breakers. Then it finally tells us congratulations for winning the game and what we unlocked for winning. So in this case, we're able to pick one player from the other team to join our team, or we can pick development points that we can use towards a created player, which I will talk about soon. But for this game, I chose to pick up Michael Jordan because I would have to be crazy to pass him up. His skills are insane. Next up are the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we're able to finish them off with an alley-oop to our new player Jordan, and win by the score of 21-11, and weirdly enough, we beat the Boston Celtics right after with a three-pointer to win the game 21-11. We've had the same score for all three of these games. After this game, I decided to create a player so that we could get development points instead of getting players from other teams that we really just didn't want. This create a player is pretty simple, having preset options, and we have to use those to create our new player. But we're still able to pick out our size, look, and body type, and separately, our shoes. The most important thing. I'm kidding, the thing that matters is skills. This is how we can turn our nobody into a superstar. By using the development points we get for winning games, we can add stats towards those skills. I primarily focused on 3-point shooting at first, but you'll get so many points during this mode that my player was almost completely maxed out of all of his stats when I finished the mode. The other stats that we can upgrade are 2-pointers, dunks, power, blocks, steals, handles, and quicks. They're pretty standard things for being a good basketball player. My nickname for this character was The Mastermind, in case anyone was wondering. Once I was done designing our character, this is what he looked like at the end and his stats. Nothing special yet, so we're just going to keep him on the bench for a little while before we debut him into the game. We've moved up one step on the tower, and we get our first street challenge against Biggs. I was expecting this to be some sort of different game type, but it's just a normal 3-on-3 game, just against street characters that have personalities. Biggs is a buff shot blocker and would make a great addition to any team. If we win a game against a street challenge team, we pick up the main character from that team. We're playing at Beacon Hill for this game, and it's in the dead of winter, and no one on my team is dressed to deal with it. This would have been the least fun game of basketball ever. We won this game 21-7 on a 3-pointer, and honestly, this wasn't much of a struggle at all. On to Region 2, which includes the Atlanta Hawks, Miami Heat, Orlando Magic, Charlotte Hornets, and the Memphis Grizzlies. I would consider this the Southeast region based on most of the locations of the teams. We get to play these games at South Beach, and I decided to take on the Hawks first. Guess what? We won this game with a dunk from Kobe Bryant with the score of 21-11. The Charlotte Hornets put up a much better fight, and we had to go over 21 because we had to win by 2, remember? And with one final dunk, we won the game 22-20. This was our closest game yet. The Orlando Magic tied us 19-19 before we were able to hit a massive 3-pointer with style to win the game 21-19. These teams were much better than the last 3. Next up was the Miami Heat, and we were able to take them down 21-17 on a 3-pointer. We had a little separation in that game for once. The last team we had to face was the Memphis Grizzlies, and I won't lie, I lost this team at least 5 times before I was finally able to get into a rhythm and then completely beat them down. I don't know what was so difficult about this team specifically, but it would come down to the end, and they would just go on a roll or get a game breaker, or I wouldn't be able to make any shots. It ended up being so frustrating, but eventually we got this run where we beat them 21-9, and I finished the game off by breaking the rim, and that was the last team in the region. So we completed Region 2, unlocked Street Challenge 2, which had us facing off against Bonafide on Broad Street. Bonafide was a pretty forgettable character. I think he had speed and good handles, but my size was able to take his team down. We ended up winning 21-14 with no problems. We unlocked Bonafide, the Broad Street Court, and we got 100 development points towards our created character. Now we can head to Region 3, where we have to face the Houston Rockets, Dallas Mavericks, San Antonio Spurs, Denver Nuggets, Utah Jazz, and the Phoenix Suns. This region mostly being Texas, but some of the surrounding teams as well. We started by beating the Houston Rockets 21-8. Nothing special here, but I was finally getting to the point where I could use our created character in every single game, because he was just so balanced in all of his skills. Then we headed north and took down the Dallas Mavericks 21-11 with a dunk from our newly acquired Tracy McGrady. At this point, no one on my team is bad, so I could put any lineup out on the court, and I still think we would win. Next up were the San Antonio Spurs, and we took care of business, beating them 21-11 with a slam dunk from Michael Jordan. Finally, we're able to leave the state of Texas and head to Colorado to take on the Denver Nuggets. That put up way more of a fight, and we only beat them 21-16 in a very boring game. The Utah Jazz was the next team on our list, and we went into this game fired up, and we even ended the game with a game-breaker three-pointer that brought the final score to 22-10. This team didn't stand a chance against us. The last team of this region is the Phoenix Suns. This was like playing against little kids or something. We came into this game and just beat them from start to finish, even lowering their score more at the end with a game-breaker three-pointer, meaning that we won this game 22-3. I think this is the biggest score gap I got during my whole playthrough of this game. Street Challenge 3 is a game against Drake, not the rapper, at the Yard. This was an underperforming game and there wasn't anything to talk about, but we won 21-14 on a late hook shot by the Mastermind. We unlocked Drake, not the rapper, the Yard Court, and 100 development points towards our created character. Pretty standard stuff. I'm going to move quicker now because a lot of these games are going to be the same from here on out. If you want to see the full games, let me know down in the comments and maybe I can figure out the best way to approach that. Anyways, Region 4 is the New York Knicks, New Jersey Nets, Toronto Raptors, and the Philadelphia 76ers. These games take place in the Cage, and our first opponent is the New York Knicks, whom we beat 21-11. Then we head to New Jersey to take down the Nets 22-10. Then we make our way out of the country to take down the Toronto Raptors 21-11. And then we finally head to Pennsylvania to take the Philadelphia 76ers down 21-13, finishing off Region 4, unlocking the next Street Challenge against DJ in Venice Beach. A lot of these Street Challenge characters are so forgettable because you see them once unless you use them on your team, which a lot of them I just didn't because I had players better in the same skills. Anyways, we head down to the beach and take down DJ 21-5 with an alley-oop to Shaq to finish the game. This unlocks DJ, Venice Beach, and we get 100 more development points. We unlocked Region 5, the second from last region in this game, but in case you were wondering, this is what the Mastermind skills are now. 3-pointers being completely maxed out. Region 5 has 5 teams we need to take down: the Chicago Bulls, Minnesota Timberwolves, Milwaukee Bucks, Detroit Pistons, and the Indiana Pacers. So we're focused on like the Great Lakes region minus Cleveland. First team up is the Chicago Bulls, which we take down 21-8. Then we head north into Minnesota and take down the Wolves 21-9, using a newly acquired Vince Carter from the previous region to finish the game. Then we beat the Bucks 21-10 and the Pistons 21-5, leaving us with just the Indiana Pacers to complete the region. They put up much more of a fight than any other team, but we were still able to come out with a victory 21-16, finishing the region and unlocking the next Street Challenge against Tekashi. This takes place in Yokotami Plaza, and Tekashi is one of my favorite street players in the game. He's extremely skinny but insanely tall. He can't do much besides block, but sometimes that's important in a game like this. When we can jump by the hoop and block a 3-point shot, that's going to make the game so much easier moving forward. We didn't have much trouble in this game, but I just wanted to show off what his height looked like. I even got to dunk on him to finish the game, winning 21-4, unlocking Tekashi, Yokotami Plaza, and we got 100 more development points towards our created character. And after all this time, we're going to Region 6, the last region in the game. Region 6 is made up of 6 teams, but we only have to play 5 of them because we are the Los Angeles Lakers. But the other 5 teams are the Seattle Supersonics, Portland Trailblazers, Sacramento Kings, Los Angeles Clippers, and the Golden State Warriors. This region is the West Coast with a bunch of California teams. These games are going to be played somewhere called Fort Point. Considering this is the final region, I would think the teams would be more challenging, but nothing changed. We beat the Sonics 21-15, the Trailblazers 21-12, the Kings 21-5, and the Clippers 21-12, leaving just one team left, the Golden State Warriors. But since this was early and they didn't have Steph Curry, this team wasn't any good either. We completely destroyed them 21-5, beating the last NBA team and leaving us just one last street challenge before we beat the game. The last street challenge has us taking on Stretch, the cover athlete, and someone that basically has maxed out skills. This was Mastermind's final skills because we won't get any more after our final game. The final game is held at a brand new court called Rucker Park. For the final game, I decided to go with the lineup of the Mastermind, Takashi, and Vince Carter. This gave us a mix of dunks and power, height and blocking, and then our created character was good at everything, but was exceptional with his handles, his speed, and three-point shooting. I wanted to make sure we covered everything so that we wouldn't get caught out. That didn't happen, and we ended up not only shutting down Stretch, but his entire team too. Takashi is such a freak athlete on the defensive side of the ball that they couldn't do anything. He stands so much taller than everyone else and just doesn't miss blocks. We ended this game by stealing an extremely poor pass with Takashi and then passing it up to the Mastermind so that he could cross over a player, drive to the basket, slam dunking the ball, and breaking the rim. We ended up winning this game 21-7. We put an absolute beatdown on Stretch. For winning the game and finishing City Circuit, we unlock a special player from a secret team, which I'll talk about in a second. We unlock Rucker Park, the Street Legends team, Stretch, and then we get 100 more development points, which I didn't do anything with, and then also 19 new gameplay cheats, which I didn't even look into once I finished this one. The secret team has a bunch of weird creatures and players that we can pick from. There are some normal characters too, but the ones to point out are Magma Man, a 7-foot, almost 600-pound fire golem with insane dunks and power. Graylien Alien, a 5-foot alien that has maxed out speed and handles. And then lastly, Yeti Snowman, an 8-foot, 426-pound snow yeti with maxed out power and blocks. He can't do much else, but he's huge. There are a bunch of other characters too, but most of them are just extra players from the street challenges and nothing I was interested in. So I decided to go with the Yeti Snowman because I wanted to see what that would look like in a normal game. Once we pick our character, we're greeted with credits, meaning that we beat NBA Street and completed another game for the GameCube challenge. I'm adding in some footage at the end here because I decided to go back and play another game with the Yeti just to see if it was any fun. It was crazy fun. He's so big and it's just so overpowered, but just take a look. Anyways, it's time to find out if I would recommend this game. So would I recommend this? I think I would. The game is just fun and it's not meant to feel like a real basketball game. I love the created characters and just the pure goofiness of the whole thing. I think the later entries might be better, but I can't say for sure because I haven't played them yet. I still think this game was a blast though, and I would recommend giving it a try. But let me know what you think about it in the comments below. If you want to know what game we're playing next, stick around, but if not, thanks for watching. Check out the last GameCube game that we completed in our challenge that's on the screen now. If you made it this far, make sure to subscribe to the channel because it helps me out. Like and share this video so we can get more eyes on this challenge. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Alright, so we have our GameCube game list up. We have our random number generator up. And on the count of 3, we are going to find out what we're playing next. So 3, 2, 1. It is 219, which is Madden NFL 2004.